Hello everyone, my name, as always, is Chaos in the Sky, and welcome back to more of Anime Villainous Tournament Arc 2024. Back down at the bottom of the bracket once again. For today's match, we're going to be seeing Xeyes versus Lark, and whoever wins this one will go on to face Ascended One in round 2. So let's get right into it. Okay, and here's the roll for Lark versus Xeyes, which Xeyes is going to win. So that makes him our starting player. He's going to get to ban first, and he already knows who he wants to ban. It's going to be Light. That's very understandable. Light is one of Lark's best characters, I would say. He is very, very strong with them. And Lark is going to be banning Dio, following Falk's example. And more people than just Falk, but Falk is the first one I thought of because they're both QA. I think Lark did like a pseudo-random there. He was pulling out some characters, seeing who they were, didn't like them, and then he's like, fine, I'll choose a character. It's going to be Cell versus Gendo. Okay. Cell versus Gendo. A classic Battle Begins matchup, I would say. Lark, pretty darn good at Cell. I'd put Cell up there as one of Lark's better villains overall, in my experience of playing against him. Typically, Gendo likes this matchup. Although I am saying that from a perspective of someone who plays a lot of both Gendo and Cell. So, Cell can definitely win it, to be sure. But I think a lot of this could come down, of course, Gendo games always come down to where red alerts are, but I think this matchup can come down a good deal to where the androids are for Cell. He really needs to get them, not early necessarily, but fairly quickly. We're going to see Xeyes go straight over to Nerve HQ and throw out Ritsuko and the Magi, doing the full draw strat that my friend Butter prefers, and then discarding a bunch of cards. This is the quintessential start for Gendo. Play the 2 cards you like most in your hand at Nerve HQ, and then discard anything you're not super into. Lark got a really early multi-form, discarding a lot of his hand. I think he is very... Ooh, double AT field. Was that shuffled? Falk is going to make sure that was shuffled or not. I'm pretty sure I saw it shuffled. It just happened to be double AT field. It's possible. I do believe AT field is the top of the thing. That extra shuffle was not necessary, but Falk is used to looking at cards and then shuffling them. Gonna see some discarding and some Magi usage from Xeyes here, I imagine. He's gonna throw out a Nerve Tank and then get a Fate. Not the best first Fate on Cell, I would say here. We're gonna see Lark go over to Tropical Island, throwing out Bug Drone to gain a little extra power. And then he got Android 18 already and a -1 on her. So this is basically exactly what Lark wants to see. Multiform and an early Android in the first 10 cards is kind of like maybe almost what he needs, honestly, to be able to deal with the Cell versus Gendo matchup, I would say. But it also comes down a big deal to how Gendo's game goes, not just how Cell's does. Time Chamber and Trunks debating if he wants another hero out, especially one that can turn off multiform, or if he just wants to buff back up 18 and go ahead and throw a +1 on Mr. Satan. Getting that +1 on Mr. Satan is very annoying because it means he's no longer a free kill with a Cell Jr. So typically, you would see a Kamehameha would be the Mr. Satan answer at this point. Committee Meeting and Betrayal. Could betray Ritsuko, but a Committee Meeting is also pretty good. This isn't the worst committee meeting ever for Xeyes, and I could even see Xeyes going, yeah, I was about to say, going straight there. Good opportunity to use the Magi, get some major digging going on. He's already 2/3 through his deck, and then he can discard as many cards as he wants from his hand, and he's actually just going to keep his hand because he probably has the majority of what he wants by now. Lark is going to go over to Arena, do an instant transmit to gain more power out of Bug Drone. Interesting that he hasn't gone for multiform here. But I can understand he wants to make sure that he keeps some power rolling for later in the game. Probably wants to make sure that he keeps enough power that he can easily special beam Goku or Vegeta if they show up. Or, oh, actually, it looks like he just really wanted to get 17 out, which makes a lot of sense. Fruit of Life is dead here, so it's Sync Fail. Sync Fail doesn't really do a whole lot in this scenario, but it is what it is. Xeyes is debating if he wants to put on more Fate pressure or go make use of the Magi, I think is what was happening there, and he is going to Fate. He's going to get Goku. Goku covering Arena is pretty strong, especially if he's going to get Adam out soon, and it looks like the odds are high he has Adam ready to go. Lark is already 9 cards, or 6 cards deep into Gendo's Fate deck with no red alerts, which is pretty good for him. Not pulling any early red alerts, it means he's very likely to pull them late. However, there's a bit of a trade-off here. He's a lot more likely to hit 2 red alerts at once, and that's the worst case scenario in most instances for Gendo. Lark is thinking a lot about what he wants to do here, and he is going to end up moving to Arena, which will give the purpose of Nerve to Xeyes. We're going to see a big disappearances for 5 here, I believe, followed by getting a Cell Jr. over there to deal with Goku at a later date, and then moving out Multiform this time, so he can move it back in. He might have Supercomputer in hand. We're going to see Minato and Nerve Tank here, playing Misato for 2, activating Misato to play the Nerve Tank for the last of his power, which lets him draw 2 because of Ritsuko. Pretty strong Gendo game thus far, but the fact that no red alerts have passed is more than likely going to be a problem for Xeyes if he doesn't luck into a double red alert. There's Vegeta blocking Tropical Islands. I think that's a pretty good block here. Honestly, I might have even considered Ginger Town, because what Cell really wants is some hand movement, I feel like. Yeah, he's going straight there right now. He's going to regen for 4, discard out a bunch of cards he doesn't need, and gain 2, and move over that Multiform. Yeah. He's going for 18 first. Only needs to get 1 more. He is set to kill 18, assuming he has Perfect Barrier or Absorb, which seems very likely. Xeyes knows that and is going for a Fate. And he is going to go for the Time Chamber over the TN play, which is fair. He's going to get Android 17 up to 4 and Android 18 up to 3. So that will prevent Lark from getting the kill. And he also threw out Shinji. Got Shinji ready to go. We're going to see an Absorb from Lark. He's going to keep focusing on Android 18 for now. And he multi-fated this time, really hoping for a hero there, and sadly didn't get it, but he is going to be able to put the Magi away. Really wanted a mass production to cover Terminal Dogma. Lark couldn't really afford to go for a full Fate, though, because if he pulls 2 red alerts, or even pulling a red alert in general right now, would hurt pretty bad, all things considered. Xeyes is going to go to Command Center just to throw down a Nerve Tank and play out the Magi. Oh, he did an activate play for the Nerve Tank to draw 2 from Ritsuko. That's pretty clever. And then he did the normal play for the Magi. I see. These players are going super fast. Look at them go. Lark is going to go back over to Ginger Town, gain 2. What card are we going to see him play? He is once again set in place. He's going to move over Multiform. Can't do anything to Vegeta, sadly. But he is once again set to where when he moves back to 18, he should be able to get the kill. We're going to see him play Time Machine to Vegeta, shuffle it in, and draw. He's going to discard. Discarding disappearances. He is at 14 power. He doesn't really need more, but this is a very tasty disappearances. It's worth 6 power, full Kamehameha. We're going to see the Android 16 play, which is going to cause Lark some problems, to be sure. And then we're seeing more Magi shenanigans from Xeyes. Xeyes is doing good at keeping Lark from getting this kill. However, at the same time, Adam is not out yet. A decent setup for Adam. Some Nerve Tanks, no robot on Shinji at the moment. What is Lark going to do? Is he going to go over there and weaken the androids anyway? I could see Lark going for an Absorb on 18 or 17, even without getting the kill, and just trying to top fate again, block that top fate. Again, he is really worried about pulling a red alert, though. Pulling a red alert here would be pretty bad. He really doesn't want to see a red alert until Xeyes plays Adam at this point. He is going to go for the Absorb on... He is going to keep it on 18, keep her weak, gain some power, and he is going to multi-fate. Fruit of Life, another dead one. Really unfortunate not to pull a mass production, but also fortunate not to pull the red alert here, especially because Xeyes is just going to take his turn to go play Adam to Nerve HQ, so now it is much more enticing for Lark to look at fading. He's going to go to Arena here, potentially. No, he's going to go to Tropical Island? Not going for 16. He's going to throw down a Cell Jr. Interesting. There's Sandolphin for the first one, and we're going to see both Nerve Tanks used. Or no, a Nerve Tank and Shinji? Nope, both Nerve Tanks to kill Sandolphin, which will get rid of the Sync Fail. And then he's going to put Ava 01 onto Shinji, and also play Ava Cage with the Activate on Misato, which will trigger Ritsuko. Now, Lark... What is Lark doing here? He's going to play Supercomputer, and he's going to move Multiform over to Goku and get Goku down by 1, so Goku is set up for a special beam now, so Lark is looking to get his Fate pressure back more than anything, which is why he's leaving 16. He's going to do a full fate and get a red alert. Did not pull 2 of them, which is very good. Ariel is a pain to deal with. That is going to be a rough one for Xeyes, because Ariel is incredibly likely to move. Now, Xeyes should have 3rd Impact in hand, so we might even see a 3rd Impact. He's going to end up playing Kozo and Nerve Artillery, and not discarding anything, so Ariel does not move. Back over to Lark. He is going to go over here. Can he kill Goku? Oh no, he's going to do another Cell Jr. to kill 16. That also makes a lot of sense. He was just weakening Goku for later. Doesn't want a Fate right now. A Fate right now would be bad because it makes it an easy 3rd Impact. We're going to see the Horrible Truth on Kozo, which is going to ditch the Eva 01 and the Nerve Artillery. And then I believe he is activating back the Eva 01 into his hand with Eva Cage, which triggers Ritsuko for a double draw. We're going to see Krillin and Cell games here. Trying to figure out what hero's left to maybe see if he wants to do someone else. The thing is that Krillin doesn't save 18 if Lark has a card that can weaken her, and I imagine he does. Ooh, there's both red alerts. Unfortunate to pull them both there. He really wanted to make sure he got one. Might have been worth going for the multi-fate. I think all 3 of these are mass production Evas, which is very interesting to know. But Lark is also playing his Cell, and he's almost reopened Arena. He's very close to being able to open it, especially if he's entering semi-perfect here. So he can really pile on some Fate pressure and get those red alerts reshuffling now that he is in fact going to kill 18 and remove her from the game and enter semi-perfect. This is going to be... I'm looking forward to how this game is going to go. This is a pretty good one, I would say. We're going to see a 3rd Impact on Uriel here, losing that 1 token and then going for a Fate, which is multi-fating a Senzu Bean. It was a guaranteed Senzu, throwing down 16 over next to Krillin. Or putting him at Carnival? I don't know about putting him at Carnival, but fair enough. We going to see the Special Beam? No, it's actually going to be another Cell Jr. and do the double Cell Jr. kill. That works just as well, really. Special Beam probably would have been nicer because it would have kept the Cell Juniors ready to go. But still, now he's got Special Beam for someone else, and he's got plenty of power for it. Oh, he couldn't Special Beam, actually, because of Krillin. Goku's at 4. I'm stupid. Sorry, I'm dumb. I'm glad I realized that. It's a good thing Lark realized. I forgot that Krillin was putting Goku back up to 4, so Special Beam wasn't an option. Cell Jr. was the only choice. We are going to see a mass production, and Lark is not worried at all about Terminal Dogma being used. He's just going to really make Command Center worse, which is a major problem for Xeyes, who really needs to take advantage of the red alerts all being in the discard and kind of rush his objective right now. Throwing out an Explosive Coercion for 0 just to get some hand movement going later. Ooh, and Tabris as well. That hurts. That is not the angel that Xeyes wants to be seeing right now. After having just used 3rd Impact. Xeyes is going to go over there and gain 3 and then spend 2 to play Ray and Ava 0-0 at Terminal Dogma to deal with Tabris later on. He's going to have to be careful with this because Ray being a target for betrayal at Terminal Dogma, if the Ava isn't on her, could be a major problem. Lark is going to Special Beam for 3 here to kill Android 16. I imagine we're going to see Multiform moving over, probably taking the +1 off of Mr. Satan, making him an easy kill for a Cell Jr. later, so that he can get it back over to Android 17. Oh, he's actually going to Time Machine, which is very fair because it's like a guaranteed draw, basically. 50-50 to draw it here, and if he doesn't draw it here, he draws it the following turn, so that's really good for him. We're going to see Lark, not multi, but he is going to get the mass production and an AT field. AT on Tabris hurts. That's going to require 1 more, because that's 4-6. Yeah, it's going to require 1 more ally to deal with that, which is not good for Xeyes. He's going to put his Ava there and just move that Nerve Tank over to make up that little bit of extra strength he needs, and then go for a Fate. He's going to get Goku back at Arena, which is pretty darn good. I imagine we're going to see Lark taking a turn to kill Krillin here, probably, would be my guess. Get Krillin out of there so he can start focusing on 17. Indeed we are. He's only got to get 17 down 2 strength to handle him. The problem is Multiform is well out of place right now. Oh, we're going to see him Kamehameha Krillin. Interesting. This makes a lot of sense. He recoups 2 of the 3 power with the gain 2, and then he can move Time Machine or Multiform, Multiform, I think, is probably the better play because now he's actually set up to kill Android 17 if he has an Absorb or a Perfect Barrier in hand, which he must if he's discarding a Perfect Barrier. That last card must be another Perfect Barrier or an Absorb, I imagine. Now he can very easily get the Carnival, and Xeyes is Fate Locked, so there is nothing he can do about it either. We're going to see a huge kill on Tabris here, and then Lark gets to Fate as well as kill 17 here. Yep, an Absorb. The game has swung pretty heavily in Lark's favor here, I would say. Especially if he gets a red alert, and he did get a red alert. That might be... I mean, Cell still has to go through Showdown. He's got to play out 4 more heroes. So, and Gendo's at 1 instrumentality. There's still a chance here. There's still a chance here. I was going to say that red alert being at the top might be a killing blow for Xeyes, that he couldn't get another token or 2 before a red alert showed up. But actually thinking about the fact that Vegeta and Goku are already out, 4 more heroes are about to come out. Probably one of them is going to be Gohan. Lark still has a bit of work to do, and Xeyes has his top fate back open. So this could still go either way. Lark is going to get the bottom fate Tien, which is very good for him. He's going to discard Senzu here, but that doesn't really matter because he's discarding basically everything. I think this last card here is Android 16, if I remember right. Lark is going to put Piccolo at Carnival. He's going to put Trunks over next to Goku at Arena. Yeah, so Cell has a lot of killing to do. He's not moving on his turn, so he's going to get to Fate and dig for another red alert. Xeyes is not going to Fate to try and get 16 here, which is a little interesting to me. Instead, he's going to go to Nerve HQ and get his power and go for a Fruit of Knowledge to set his deck a bit. I wonder what he's planning. I guess he's trying to get to well, I was gonna say he's trying to get to Nerve Tanks and all, and that's why he wanted the power to play him, but he discarded a Nerve Tank there. I'm not really sure what he's going for there. But a little bit of deck control is always nice. We're gonna see Lark spin 2 on Special Beam to weaken Piccolo, and then he'll be able to punch Piccolo and kill him this turn before any Time Chambers can get on him. We are gonna see a Time Machine move to get Special Beam back in there because it's a very strong kill card and it's one of Lark's favorites. Another red alert here, which is going to get Armisail. I don't think we've gotten a reshuffle yet for Xeyes, so I don't think he has, or we're going to see a Misato activate for a double play Asuka and Eva here, which is going to move Armisail because he drew off of Ritsuko. But third impact is what Xeyes really wants here, but I don't think he has it. Time Chamber or 16? He's going to throw 16 at Carnival, which is going to stop a clash from happening this turn outside of some Kamehameha shenanigans. I wonder where Lark is going to go. Oh, and then we saw a bunch of discards from Xeyes. He's going through his deck. I wonder if he is, if he's going to try and dig hard for third impact or try and deal with it. I think he has to dig hard for third impact at this point. With the way his board is set up, he can't really afford to try and kill Armisail or Sachiel. It's going to take him way too long. Cell will win long before that. Huge disappearances from Lark. That's like 7 power. And then discarding a bunch of worthless cards. Not the best turn ever, but it sets him up very, very nicely for upcoming turns. We're going to see Xeyes go for a Fate. He's going to get Crippling Blow and Piccolo. It's going to be a Piccolo play. It just depends on where. It's looking like Arena. It is going to be Arena. And then another Fruit of Knowledge from Xeyes. He's digging hard for third impact right now. He needs third impact to get back in this game. And none of those cards are third impact, so he's discarding them all is what it looks like, which I think is the smart play. He basically needs to get to third impact fast enough to before Cell can get back Arena. He's not going to be able to Fate on this coming turn. We're going to see an instant transmit. Nope, Lark's changing his mind, thinking about what to do. Getting a Cell Jr. ready at the Arena makes a lot of sense here. Is he going to move Multiform or Time Machine? I was about to say, Multiform to Gohan is probably the smart money. Start weakening him down for a punch later. Or just an easier Special Beam. Multi-Fading? I imagine we're multi-fading here. Multi-Fading Committee Meeting is incredible. That was a really good pull for Lark. That is probably the Fate Lark wanted to see the most. We're going to see a Nerve Artillery to kill the Mass Production Eva, open that up, gain 2, and then probably a Magi activate. Pretty good move overall, I would say. It was either this or going to Terminal Dogma to do the activate and discard and get rid of committee meeting. I think I probably would have gone to committee meeting myself because you really want that top fate open, but opening up command center is also very worthwhile, especially for getting enough power to and activates 2 blitz killing angels, which is kind of what Xeyes needs to do here. That decision comes down to, do you want to try and blitz a little bit more or be able to put a little more fate pressure on Cell? And I'm not sure which one would be right, really. Ooh, and there's a big Kamehameha, which will hit Trunks and probably Piccolo, so that he can then punch Piccolo at the end of his turn. And so Lark's still looking good at about 7 power, which is very good for Kamehamehas and such, and has opened up Arena. The fact that Arena is open is the big problem for Xeyes here, which is why I was saying he might want to focus on committee meeting earlier, is that more so than just trying to delay Cell from winning the game, covering Arena is a big problem here, because if Cell can get to another reshuffle on this Fate deck, then it will be very hard for Xeyes to finish up his game. Android 16 to Arena. Okay, that's fair, stopping another Fate. I think Lark is probably going to be going to Carnival, especially with 16 out. And we're going to see a Marduk play. Has he not drawn third impact yet? Or is he, maybe he's holding it because Lark might Fate here. I think 2 red alerts are in the discard, so Lark probably does need to play the odds and do a Fate here, even if it does lead to another red alert. You can't really take the risk of all the red alerts being low. We're going to see some major discards. Also, Multiform was moved back over, so it could be moved to Gohan later. Major discards from Lark. He really wants to get his hands on... Ooh, big Kamehameha. That'll get 16 out. And Mr. Satan. Fair enough. Mr. Satan being in rotation is really good because his ability... Or, not his ability. Because he's a Fate that you want to see your opponent get. We're going to see another multi, and it's going to get Seal Interference, which is pretty good. Shuffling in one of the robots. Ava Cage. Maybe the Magi. Ava Cage seems fair. Makes that a little more annoying for recycling for Xeyes. Xeyes is going to Nerve HQ for third impact here, getting rid of both of them and removing his only token, so he has 3 tokens to go through. I would say that Cell definitely has the advantage here. We're going to see the robot on Rey so that she's safe from betrayal. I'd say that Cell definitely has the advantage here. He does only have 2 power, but he's just got Tien, Vegeta, and Gohan to deal with, and he had Regen in hand, which is very good. So he's right back up to a pretty strong position. I wasn't paying enough attention to his discard pile. I don't think this is Senzu Beans. Krillin might be in here, and then maybe like a Crippling Blow. I don't recall. We're going to see an Appeal to Pride thrown out with Committee Meeting out. That's a pretty safe bet. And then Lark is going to get Betrayal and Red Alert, so he's going to get a Red Alert here right before Xeyes can get one going. Very unfortunate for him. The reshuffle on the Red Alert timings have not been in Xeyes' favor. They have not gone great, but that's Gendo, baby. And that'll be the end of Lark's turn. Xeyes is going to go straight over to Command Center and just kill Gagil because he knows any chance of winning this game now, he really just has to... we're going to see the Ava Cage play into the Activate to get back the card. He really just has to blitz at this point and hope that the red alerts, if Lark even gets to a reshuffle, that they reshuffle low. Mass production and sync fail, and it's going to be a sync fail. Oh yeah, there's nothing set up for that. That's going to be killer on Xeyes right now. He needs to get 2 nerve tanks out to deal with that. And then we're going to see the multiform move over. Can Lark Kamehameha here? Can he actually, like, nearly guarantee game? I think his Kamehamehas are both in the discard. He's going to set up a Cell Jr. so he can kill Gohan at his leisure. And then we're going to see him discarding for some other stuff. Kind of surprised he'd put the Cell Jr. Well, he knows Senzu Bean isn't here, so that makes sense, actually. There's Matariel. Moving an item. That's unlikely to happen. So many cards at Tokyo 3. I was about to say, Xeyes probably needs to go to Tokyo 3 here, and if he has any allies, he needs to play them. Oh, he's actually going to move the Magi to move Matariel, and then throw a Nerve Tank there, gain 1 and spend 1 on it. Krillin in Time Chamber was Time Chamber, not Crippling Blow. Time Chamber on Vegeta and Gohan could be pretty good here. Krillin to Arena is also fair. I think there's a pretty good chance that Lark could have Special Beam in hand is the main problem with this. And Xeyes is fully Fate-locked, so Lark knows that he's safe for a turn. Lark is going to go to Arena. He's going to Perfect Barrier. Spend 2 on a Cell Jr., and it's a free kill on Krillin, along with the Perfect Barrier, so that handles that. And then he's going to get to Fate. Marduk is going to trigger off of this. Or no, it's not. No, it's not. Because the Cell Junior isn't lost. Because Krillin is at 0. And Appeal to Pride is not yet triggered either. Yeah, so Lark's not triggering it here. This should be a full fate from Lark, I think. Because none of these are red alerts. AT field and Seal Interference. AT field on Matariel really hurts here. That is very less than ideal. It's going to take a Command Center, activate Misato play with 2 nerve tanks or like nerve artilleries to kill Matariel here. And Xeyes really needs to kill Matariel. He actually might want to go to committee meeting here. Oh, he's going to activate Kozo actually to play a nerve tank. Activate Kozo to trigger Marduk and play the nerve tank. That will let him kill Matariel and get rid of Sync failed. So he's got 2 angels to go. Are they double checking that play was legal? I'm pretty sure it is. Activate Kozo, spend 1 on a nerve tank in the discard to play it. Spend 1 on a nerve tank in hand to play it. Do a Vanquish, didn't move any items. Should be legal, I believe. Xeyes didn't, like, pull out the, Oh, he's supposed... Oh, they're figuring out how the draw works. When he activated Kozo, he has to draw 2. Right, so he has to take a nerve tank out of the discard from the Marduk, and then it gets discarded. Okay, yeah, I understand why that happened. It was because of Ritsuko. This is why I never play Ritsuko. She makes things so complicated. Lark is going to go over to the supercomputer, aka Carnival. He's going to play Disappearances, so he's set up for a full Kamehameha. He's going to move over Time Machine and put in Kamehameha. Indeed, he is. And he can discard enough necessary to get the Kamehameha if he didn't just draw it there. So he's basically setting himself up for game here. Yep, he's discarding 2. That guarantees the Kamehameha draw. So it's going to come down to... Gendo is going to have to fate, and it's going to come down to what that fate card is on if this game ends or not. With the Kamehameha in hand, Lark is guaranteed to do a lot. He's going to guarantee Tabris on the top of the Angel deck, which is going to be rough. We're going to see a Horrible Truth with Asuka's Robot and Shinji to kill Tabris, so he is able to get the Tabris kill, but he's very low on allies and whatnot. What is this fate going to be? It's going to be Krillin and Time Chamber. Krillin is definitely just going to get targeted by Kamehameha. This should buy a turn. I don't think it really matters where Krillin goes. Lark is going to be able to go to Arena. Oh, that's the wrong place. That's game. That's game if Krillin goes there, I think. No, it's not, because Vegeta is outside of Clash range, so he can't. And Gohan is outside of the Cell Junior, so he can't win here. But Lark, I think Lark has this, though, because Lark just goes to Arena, Kamehameha's Vegeta, Krillin, and then vanquishes Gohan. Yeah. I don't think there was any combination where that fate could save Xeyes. Maybe Time Chamber, Vegeta, Gohan might have done it. But I'm not sure on that, because, yeah, now it's just Tien, and then a Fate, and Committee Meeting is blocking the Fate. There's nothing that Xeyes can really do here. Lark doesn't even really have to Fate, but yeah, mass production on Terminal Dogma, just to super ensure that that's stuck there, is gonna decide the game. There's Saha Quail. Can Xeyes, he can get the kill by an Activate to get it back, which we'll draw to, and then he'll play it and kill. So he doesn't quite get to Showdown. It's possible that Lark could pull a red alert. It's 3 of them out of the 10 cards, but Lark just has to go punch Tien, and that will decide this game. He's going to special beam to Style a little bit because, you know, that is how it is sometimes. But really good Cell and Gendo game, all things considered. I think maybe not getting rid of that committee meeting earlier in the game is probably what killed Xeyes here. And not getting particularly lucky with red alerts on that reshuffle, but leaving the committee meeting there long-term allowed Lark to set up guaranteed kills and whatnot that Xeyes couldn't interrupt. But I understand why he did it. He was focusing on trying to blitz his Gendo, and the blitz just didn't work out, unfortunately, with his deck order and the Angel order and whatnot. But that's how Gendo is. That's how it goes. So we're going straight into round 2. I don't think I need a jump cut. We're going to see Xeyes just immediately ban Light again, which is fair. Xeyes is going to get to counterpick Lark this time around. Who is Lark going to ban? He's going to ban Gendo, who he just went up against. He doesn't want to see Gendo again. Lark has to pick first, and then Xeyes will get to counterpick into Lark's decision. Lark is going to play Orochimaru, one of the hardest to counterpick villains, I would say. Xeyes, who are we going to see? Who does he want? He wants someone who can keep some pretty strong fate pressure, but also isn't too slow in objective progress because Orochimaru can be very fast. What is it going to be? It's going to be Dio. So we are going to see a Dio match. Is this the first Dio of the tournament? I can't recall. Did anyone else play Dio yet? Dio's been banned a lot, that's for sure. But I've seen this matchup before, and honestly, it can kind of go either way. Dio has a decent advantage in going first in this matchup because it means that Orochimaru isn't guaranteed to get to go to Forest of Death turn 1, but Orochi does get a mulligan in return, which he is going to use. But I have seen Orochimaru win this matchup for sure. I think that Dio is probably one of Orochimaru's, maybe one of his harder matchups because Dio is really good at progress and fate pressure. But, yeah, Kakashi to Forest of Death here is pretty decent. But I have seen Orochimaru win this before, and there's the straight killing intent into the clash with Kakashi. Just immediately undoing that fate, one of Orochi's favorites. Now we're going to see Xeyes go over to the Middle East. He's going to do the classic The World play to gain a lot of power, because he wants to build up power fast, especially for Joy and Fears later. Alessi here is probably the pick, and Duel is also a good option, but straight out Alessi here onto Jotaro. He is really going to hope that a restoration doesn't come out. That is -1 too many, sir. There you go. Lark is going to go to Otagakuri, get some power, and get some fate pressure going. He needs to do that quick. Faked Death and Ora, so that's just going to be Ora on Alessi. That's a very unfortunate fate for Lark. He really wanted to see Found You, Dio, Star Platinum, Restoration, or any hero, really. We're going to see an I Can Feel Them from Dio, and some discarding as he goes for a fate. He's going to get Naruto and Rock Lee. Probably wanted to see Asani in there the most, Jiraiya or Tsunade. But they are just 2 cards out of 13. Lee is pretty annoying. Just any hero to block Forest of Death here is pretty rough for Lark. He's going to go to Tanzaku and get some plays going. Hopefully he has a decent hand for this. The real question is if he has a way to weaken up Lee or potentially even kill him. Jirobo with a weakening card or sort of Kusanagi with a weakening card like Curse Seal or another Killing Intent. Potentially do it. We're going to see Sakon and Ukon with a Poisoned Kunai, followed by a Body Mod. He's going to set up a lot of his deck here, basically setting up his next turn. Going to get rid of a Curse Seal. And White Snake, don't want to see that early. Shed Skin, probably one of the weakest cards in Orochimaru's deck, if I'm being honest. And then a Forbidden Experiments to gain 3. Getting right back up to 4, so pretty strong turn from Lark. Didn't get a chance to uncover his top fate, but good stuff. We're going to see Xeyes go over to the Middle East and play Dio's Coffin. He gets to look at that top card now whenever he wants, and he is just going to straight up play it for Cameo to draw 3 and end his turn. Not too bad. Lark going to go gain some more power at Otagakuri and keep some fate pressure going. Makes a lot of sense. Restoration or Polnareff? Probably Restoration, but I could see Polnareff, but it looks like it is going to be Restoration on Jotaro to get that -3 off, basically undoing, in the course of 2 fates, undoing the Trivial Matter that played Alessi. We're going to see another Trivial Matter, which is going to be Maria, Daniel, and Captain Tennille. Was that how that works? Do you get to look at the top card? Like, I guess it would be. Yeah, he can look at that card before he decides who to play with the thing. That's really neat, actually. We're going to see Gaara played here, moving Sakon and Ukon over to Konoha, and then leaving Lee where he is. Makes a lot of sense. I wonder if we're going to see if Lark has an option to clash Lee at Forest of Death, or if he's going to go to Tanzaku for some major power gain in plays. Kakashi is in the discard, so he doesn't have any power losses coming up anytime soon. So just holding on to a lot of power is perfectly fine by Orochimaru at the moment. He can also move Sakon and Ukon back into place at Forest of Death if he wants to. Sakon and Ukon are pretty good with a Poison Kunai because they can kill Jiraiya and Tsunade. We're going to see him discard body mods, and he's playing Kitamaro, throwing out a Subjutsu. Subjutsu could be pretty good here. And he's going to get the Sealed Coffin out. He has 6 strength of allies. He needs 4 more strength. So Kabuto and Manda can do it, or he's going to have to do some multiple allies or boosting. Xeyes is going to go back to this place and get some power. The Middle East, gain power with the world, and he's going to do a Trivial Matter, get enough of these guys to kill Jotaro and move Jotaro. The first movement here that won't trigger substitution because the hero did not have a strength of 3 or less. And that's his turn. He's one Jotaro kill in, but every Jotaro kill puts Jotaro in a more annoying position, so. What is Lark going to do here? He's going to go to Konoha, actually. Does he? Oh, he's got the sword. Okay. And then a curse seal, so he's going to use the sword to kill Lee here, I think. What is his third card play? Forbidden Experiments to gain. That puts a -1 on Lee. And then he's going to discard the Sword of Kusanage to clash Lee and get him out of there. I'm surprised he didn't move Sakon and Ukon back over to the Forest of Death here. And that'll be his turn. Xeyes is going to head back over to Egypt, throw out a Joy and Fear, pretty likely to trigger. He's going to get Jirai on the Forest of Death, that hurts. We could see Lark go to Konoha again here to use Sakon and Ukon to get Jiraiya out of there, but he probably wants to be able to play Sasuke first before he does that. He's also been leaving Gaara for a good while. Lark definitely wants to get Gaara out of here ASAP because it would help a lot being able to gain to an activated Otogakuri. He's going to go to Konoha and he's going to move him over and he's going to do the kill. This is going to give him that opening to kill Gaara either through a Clash or a Kitamaro, which is very good for him. Will we see any card plays? That Poison Kunai coming in very handy here. Heard a card move over there. Must have just been looking at something. Lark is going to get down 4 Violet Barrier. Very important card. He's going to get a Poison Kunai on Kitamaro, and he's got Manda in play. So this is going to trigger Devo the Cursed for the Joy and Fear pull, which is very good for Xeyes, but this is a very strong position for Lark. He is in a very strong position now, and he's very close to getting Sasuke out. Oh, Shedskin was played earlier, and then the Forbidden Experiments. That's my bad. I didn't notice that. My mistake. We're going to see a Vampirism. This is pretty much a guaranteed Jotaro kill here. It's going to be Jay Gil. These are 6 strength together, so it is going to be able to kill Jotaro. And we're going to see Nukesaku thrown out. That'll get Jotaro to the Middle East. He's just got one more Jotaro kill to go. That's not Showdown. That's not Showdown yet. You got to get Jotaro over one more, buddy. And then we're back to Lark's turn. I wonder what Lark is going to do here. He could go to Forest of Death. Honestly, it wouldn't be too bad to take advantage of Forest of Death here. Yeah. He could also use Kiri to kill Gaara and open Otogakuri, or just clash with Gaara at Otogakuri. Getting these discards is better. He can deal with Gaara at any point, and this means he can do a back-to-back Fate, which is pretty important when Jotaro is getting this close. What a pain in Aura. This is probably going to be Aura on Nukesaku. Get rid of that extra card play because it is very strong. Could have also targeted Dio's Coffin, but I think Nukesaku is honestly more important to Dio at this point in time. We're going to see an I Can Feel Them for 1, and then I think that was multiple discards. That is going to trigger Shedskin, so that's a draw. And Tsunade shows up. Tsunade is 1 strength too high for Kitamaro to deal with. Manda is protecting Forest of Death, though. Where is she gonna go? Just putting her at Forest of Death to feed her to the snake later? Gonna put her at Konoha. Interesting. She's going to cause some problems in terms of cost. We're going to see Lark go over here to Force of Death. I imagine we're probably just going to see a Fate Clash here, keeping Kitamaro for later. There's Iggy, throwing Iggy on top of the Middle East, so Iggy has to be dealt with before Jotaro now, and then just clashing Gaara? Clashing Gaara, that makes the most sense. Otogakuri is opened back up. Xeyes is not happy about how Orochi's board is going and is going in for another Fate. Dead Demon could be good here, but Sarutobi eating Manda, or Manda eating Sarutobi, however you want to say it. Sarutobi being needed to get rid of Manda here, which leaves Tsunade out and annoying. It's probably the best call, I would say. Lark is going to go to the Forest of Death, which I imagine means Manda is definitely going to be used here. Good to use him now before the reshuffle occurs. Also get some big discarding. Discarding Kabuto, it hurts my soul, but Lark disrespects Kabuto so much. We're going to get Jirobo thrown down at Forest of Death or Tsunade? At the Forest of Death. This is 6 strength. Lark really needs to get the last strength, the last of the strength he needs to do this fate. We've got a fake death or a found you Dio. Doesn't really want to do found you Dio here because it's going to put them at Japan. Probably wants to just play whoever they can. I think it's just Kakyoin to Middle East. So that's a lot of heroes that Xeyes has to go through now. And Middle East is one of Dio's most powerful. I mean, Middle East and Egypt, one or the other, is the most powerful location for Dio. So having that blocked is very unfortunate. We're going to see a world here to draw one, and then using the player card on this ally. No, using the player card on another world. And then a trivial matter, which is Steely Dan, Vanilla Ice, and Enya the Hag. I don't think there are any heroes in there, so Enya sucks right now. I don't know if this is 3 or 4 card plays. I think it's 4 card plays. 2 worlds, trivial, and then Enya the Hag. Yes, so that's going to be a clash with Iggy, which is very strong. And then Enya the Hag is going to go here. Gets the +1 from Iggy being there. I don't think there are any other heroes in the discard. There might be one other that I'm forgetting. I think we're pretty likely to see a fate from Lark here. Odagakuri gains some power. Free use of 4 Violet on Tsunade. I think this is definitely going to be a fate from Lark at Odagakuri. Free use of 4 Violet on Tsunade, because Sealed Coffin will refund him. We are going to see a fate. Avdol and Found You Dio. Will he just play Avdol? Most likely. I think that's the best play. He probably wanted... no, I think both fake deaths have passed, actually, so he couldn't fake death here. We are going to see the Avdol play, and Avdol is actually going to go to Egypt and block that top fate, which I think is probably pretty fair, but also Middle East is a good one. Just really holding Jotaro there as long as possible and slowly strangling power out from Dio. We're going to see a Flesh Bud used on Iggy, presumably, and then an immediate Vanquish to get rid of Avdol there. Recovery Mission Sakura is going to put Sakura at Forest of Death. That's going to stop a fate from Lark, which will give Xeyes a turn to breathe. Still has to deal with Kakyoin, but I believe that Enya the Hag is strong enough to deal with Kakyoin at this point. Lark is going to go over the Forest of Death, just wants to punch Sakura and get her out of here. Lark did not activate Odagakuri, or activate 4 Violet last turn. I think he might have not realized that he could do that for free. Because he didn't do another activate, right? He didn't have another activate. Lark is actually going to go to Tenzaku. This makes a lot of sense because Jirobo can just move Sakura into him. So gaining power and playing is going to be more effective here. His only loss is that he's going to move Jirobo out of place. He's got Kimimaro and Tayuya out, and then a Curse Seal on Tsunade to get her down -1. And that gains him 1 from the Sealed Coffin. So she's at 3 now. I might have missed something, but I'm pretty sure she could have been at 2 now. And I think Lark is deciding if he wants to put Kimi at Tsunade. Honestly, I probably would have put Kimi at Tsunade. He's not going to move Jirobo over to punch Sakura. Interesting. We're going to see another fate, or another trivial matter from Xeyes here. He's going to get Arabia Fats for a -1 on Kakyoin and Jotaro, which is going to let him punch Kakyoin, which will trigger substitution. This could be a pretty good substitution for Lark. What Lark really wants to do this turn is go to Odagakuri and get... probably actually switch, like, Kitamaro and someone. Oh, he's not going to, actually. I thought he might try and set up Kitamaro being able to kill Tsunade after activating out Sasuke. Tsunade is still a little too strong because of Sakura, though, now that I think about it. If only he had gotten that earlier, 4 Violet on her. We could see him sack Kiri to, or Sakura to Kiri here. Oh, Kimimaru's here. What am I talking about? He's going to use Kimimaru, obviously. That makes way more sense. I forgot that he had Kimimaru out now. Then we're going to get Fate. He's going to replay Kimi to Tsunade, which makes a lot of sense. We're going to see Joseph. I could see Joseph going over the top Fate or going to Jotaro here. Either or is pretty good. I think blocking that top Fate, making it harder to Fate and kill is probably worthwhile, but also covering Jotaro to make it that much more difficult for Xeyes to get his kill makes a lot of sense. And now Lark is in a pretty strong position. Although Xeyes is going to get a Fate here. We're going to see a Vampirism. This is definitely going to... oh, he's going to be Cameo. This is definitely going to be a kill Joseph turn. Probably wants to use Enya the Hag on Joseph right here because there's about to be a reshuffle. Oh, he's actually going to use those two and leave Enya. He really needs to get a hero here in that case. He did not get a hero. Lark is definitely going to go to Forest of Death whether he discards his hand or not, because he wants to reshuffle this Enya. He wants to reshuffle to turn off Enya's ability, essentially, get her back down to 1 strength, because right now she can kill Jotaro all on her own. We are going to see the big discard from Lark, of course. It makes the most sense, going straight there and gaining 1. Probably should have just used Enya on that last fate. Lark is going to figure out what this last card is and see if he wants to multi. He doesn't, because it's just Star Platinum. Did not get a hero, but he did reshuffle, so Enya is now 1 strength only, and Star Platinum is out, with Dio having almost no power. So it's a really rough position. Very rough position for Xeyes. We're going to see a world discard. He's going to gain 3, discard the world to get rid of Star Platinum, and then he's going to spend he's going to use his play a card on Trivial Matter, which unfortunately he did not have enough power to play anyone, so that's a dead Trivial. And that will be his turn. Lark, probably Otagakuri, weakening Sasuke. Oh, he's going to do the Kimi kill first? Is this a Kimimaro kill? What's he discarding for Kimi here? Yep. Discarding Shaman Rashman. I mean, if that's how the hand signs worked out, that's how they worked out. He doesn't have a lot of allies at Sasuke anyway, so not super useful. Lark is going to hit the -1 on Sasuke, and it's going to immediately refund him, so that's got him at -1. The Sasuke dropping has begun. Ooh, found you Dio is pretty good here, but so is Joseph. I could see either or being played. Honestly, if I were Lark, I would probably throw Joseph on top of Egypt here. I would really, but again, Avdol is also really good. Just really holding Jotaro at the Middle East for ages and ages. Kakashi, decent pull here. Gonna get rid of some of that highly stockpiled power words. Then we're gonna see a Trivial Matter, and it's gonna be Forever, which is gonna get Avdol over to Japan, get him out of there. Which is really what Xeyes wants right now. Lark heading over to Sanzaku, tons of power. He's going to move Kakashi over to Konoha and just leave him there for a little while, thanks to Jirobo opening back up his fate. So he has got both of his fate locations open and easy to use. Discarding the Reincarn instead of playing it. Curse Seal onto Sasuke, the classic. Followed by a double killing intent. So that's going to be -3 to Sasuke and a net gain of, or a regain of 1, not a net gain, because killing intent costs 2. That gets Sasuke down to 4 strength already, and Orochi's board is very open. He's got Kimi out with a buff Kitamaro with a knife. We're going to see Naruto with the Forest of Death. That is less than ideal for Orochi. And then Trivial Matter. A Trivial Matter indeed. We reshuffled Terrence back on top, but he only had the 1 to pay on Nena. I think this is a Jotaro kill. Forever Enya with Jotaro at 3. Yeah, because it just needs to be Joseph if there's even another one in there. That'll get Dio into Showdown, but his top fate is now covered and he has no power. Avdol does have to be dealt with, but he's at Japan, so he's not doing much. Lark going to Otagakuri makes a lot of sense. I wonder if we'll see him, depending on what his hand is, he might do a Kimi kill here to move Naruto over to Konoha, just get everyone there. We're going to see the 4 Violet Barrier. Sasuke's a little bit weaker yet again. The major problem for Lark right now is the fact that heroes are stockpiling and he's not getting rid of them, which means his Showdown is going to be a little bit of a headache to deal with. But he has a pretty strong setup for Showdown with Kimi and a 3-strength Kitamaro, especially a 3-strength Kitamaro with the Poison Kunai. Oh, Lark is rethinking his turn. Is he not going to go to Otagakuri and Fate this turn? I am very interested in what kind of a turn he could have to not go to Otagakuri here. He's doing some hand sign math, as we can see here. He's moving his hands around, his cards around, figuring out what he can do. He was at Sanzaku quarters last turn, yeah. We're going to see him throw down stock on an Ukon. We're going to see a Forbidden Experiments. He's going to use it to activate 4 Violet for 1, which will net him back 1. Then he's going to play Shed Skin. And then he's going to play Manda. Is he actually going to use Manda to eat Naruto here? To Fate? He sure is. What a madman. I respect it. That will let him Fate this turn and get Sasuke down to just 2. Iggy and Fanyu-Dio, we're probably going to see Iggy played. Iggy could go to Egypt or Middle East. I think Middle East is probably the play here, because with no power, Dio has no way to do stuff. Lark's thinking really hard about it, though. Or no, that was Xeyes moving them around. Yeah, I think Iggy here to just really weaken the Middle East is definitely the right call by Lark. Jotaro is already blocking the top fate. He's not going anywhere anytime soon. This really messes with Xeyes' ability to kill stuff. And Xeyes is going to Road Roller Iggy immediately in response, which makes a lot of sense. And just get him out. Now I think we're going to see Lark go to Otagakuri. Lark does not have Kabuto, which means he needs to get his hands on... Oh, is he going to sack Jirobo or Sakon and Ukon for... He could actually, instead of activating 4 Violet, he could activate Sakon and Ukon to get Kimi to kill Naruto. Killing Naruto here would be a really big boon for him to get Naruto out before another player. I think he literally hears me saying this. Yeah. So we're going to see this, and then Kimi is going to kill Naruto, I assume, because I don't know why he'd kill Kakashi here. But using Sakon and Ukon to swap Jirobo and Kimi, he's going to do the trade, get Naruto out of there. He really just wants to make sure that he doesn't have too many heroes going into Showdown, because that's where Orochimaru can really struggle, is figuring out how to get those ending kills. Polnareff and Restoration, definitely a Polnareff play. This time he is going to put it in Egypt. It's not like Xeyes can go to Middle East this turn anyway, so that's fair, just making sure that Jotaro is well protected. Xeyes is going to respond by going to Japan and getting an I Can Feel Them for a huge power gain, followed by a Fate, probably recovery mission on Sasuke here if I had to imagine. Putting Sasuke at the top Fate. I might have put him at Otagakuri instead because Jirobo is there, but I can understand Xeyes doesn't want to get fated right now because he really needs to get some progress. But we are going to see the Jirobo move to get Sasuke right back over there as I expected, and then Lark more than likely is going to be able to play out most if not all of his hand to trigger that Cursed Seal and keep his power very high because he'll get a refund, a bit of a refund on Sealed Coffin, and who knows what else he's doing. The main thing for Lark right now is getting Whitesnake. He needs to get Whitesnake back. We're going to see a Curse Seal on Kakashi to start weakening him, which makes a lot of sense. There's the Sword of Kusanage, which is going to make it really easy to get the kill on Sasuke later. We're going to get a Sub-Jutsu thrown out, which is pretty good. That's going to get Sasuke -1 and Kakashi -1. Sasuke is at just 2 strength now. Have we seen... I think we might have seen both recovery missions go past. And Kitamaro is still strong protecting this location right now. And then Forbidden Experiments, which instead of gaining power, he's going to do the -1 on 4 Violet, which is the smart play here, I think. He just needs to get Sasuke to 0 ASAP so he can kill him. The sooner Orochi is in Showdown and threatens winning, like, pretty much every turn, the better. Xeyes is going to go to the Middle East, so he won't be fading this turn. He's got to get some progress here and kill some stuff. Vanilla Ice is interesting here. Alessi is also very good. I think Alessi is probably the play, but I'm not much of a Dio player myself. But Vanilla Ice does punch very hard. And it is going to be Vanilla Ice. Is he going to use Vanilla Ice to just kill and get rid of Polnareff here? And remove him from the game, even? He's not going to do it to remove him from the game, because he's going to Vampirism out forever. Oh, he's going to get Jotaro out here by forevering Polnareff. And this game just became way more competitive very suddenly. It's a 5-strength Polnareff and a 4-strength Avdol at Japan doing a whole lot of nothing. But they are a 4 and a 5-strength hero that have to be dealt with. What is Lark going to do? Will he go to Forest of Death or Otagakuri here? I could see Otagakuri and killing Kakashi, honestly, even if it loses him some power while getting rid of Sasuke. The problem is if he does or does not have Whitesnake in hand. He really needs Whitesnake right now. And if he doesn't have Whitesnake, he's probably looking at Forest of Death for a big discard turn, because he really needs to get it. But he can also discard some of his cards by using Kimimaro at Otagakuri. He's going to Konoha. He must have Whitesnake. We're going to see Forbidden Experiments activate on Sakon and Ukon to move to Yuya. Okay. Followed by another Forbidden Experiments to gain 1. Followed by a Summon Rashomon to just bring all of these guys to 0, which will net him a power. Does he have Whitesnake? He did have Whitesnake. Oh, baby. Does he have the Tayuya He still has his normal activate. He can activate Tayuya and win here. He activates Tayuya to kill Kakashi. It takes away all of his power, but he doesn't care. Wow! After such an incredible play by Xeyes to get Jotaro out of here, Lark is just going to win the game instead, so that he doesn't have to deal with this situation and how to handle it. That was an incredible back-to-back turn. My word. What a way to end it. What a way to end that game. Holy cow. That was insane. Well played from both players. Man, I don't even know what to say. That was wild. Wild turn from Lark. Absolutely incredible. And just goes to show, Tayuya, typically the worst ally in Orochimaru's deck, but even still, I do think she's probably the weakest in the deck. She couldn't have done this without Sakon and Ukon, for instance. But Tayuya being able to just ensure Lark the victory that turn immediately was incredible. So really, really great stuff from both players. Really, really great game. So let's go look at the bracket and how this has affected it. And with that, Lark will move on to round 2, where he will face Ascended One. He is looking to get back to his championship title, and Ascended One now has a chance to cause an upset and potentially knock him out to see which one of them goes to the semifinals. We've just got 2 more games to go before round 1 is done, and then we'll move on to round 2. Hope you're all looking forward to it. Until next time, farewell.